lot of basketball. We do a lot of players that really, you don't get a chance to coach teams like this very often in your career. They're just really, they're wired. They're wired the right way. They're zoned in. They know everything that's going on. They play hard. They play smart. They play together. No guarantees, like I told you at the beginning, they'll win one game, but they're going to battle you from start to finish. And I thought today did a great job executing the scouting report on both sides of the ball and came away with a win against a really good Wright State team.
Jazz had gone 101 career games without scoring 20 points, and now back-to-back games she's gone 20 or more. How does that happen? Is she in the zone? Is it the play call?
Well, he's her own worst enemy, and I told her that in practice the other day. I mean, she has the ability. She puts as much time in as anybody that I've ever coached in my life before. So why not go on the court and play like that? At times, she lets little people creep into her and tells her she's either not capable or shouldn't be doing those kind of things. And we kind of talked about that in practice openly the other day, and I just said, you're a good player. You're your own worst enemy. Just go out and do what you do. And of course, today last couple of games, she can shoot. Guys aren't going to honor her. She can make shots, so that's a big plus for us.
How is she in terms of trying to stay out of foul trouble now at this point in her career? Obviously, early on it was a big issue. Has she gotten better over?
She's smarter. Yeah, she moves her feet. She takes charges on people. She can rebound. Strategically, she knows how to play a whole lot better than she did when she was younger. When she was younger, she was learning, and I think they're over the process of watching other players guard her and figure out how sometimes it was more difficult for her to guard, and analyzing that, go back and apply some of those techniques she learned from the people she played against. Has helped her considerably, but as a result, it's kept her out of foul trouble and kept her on the court, and again, has helped us out a lot.
4 players with double-digit points in this game. How has the team been working together to get this 10-1 conference record?
Yeah, that's probably our strength. Our strength is the pack. It is. That's the good and the bad news. The good news is the strength is the pack. Bad news is we really want to get something. Who do we go to? And that's really not the piece that we look at. Our pack is really strong, and we got a number of people that can contribute. We almost had 5 double figures. I think Natalie had 8. And of course Bailey played a floor game beyond belief, guarding their best player. I was unseen in the process, but a lot of wily veterans. Players have been around for a while, know how to pass, know how to cut, know how to move. I've got the ability to make shots. They practice a lot, so it's a fun team to coach.
You have a while until your next game, but it's obviously a big one in terms of regular season.
Yeah.
How big is that if you are able to win on the road, you open up a 2-game lead in conference? I mean, is this a pretty darn big game?
The big one, Scott, is at the end of the year if we get ourselves in that position. But at this point right now, and then we told our players, you're either going to get better today or you're going to get worse, but you're not going to stay in one spot. So I think our key to every practice and every day is to try to find a way to get a little bit better every time we step on the court, because we can't just coast. We have to play hard because the teams we're playing against are capable. And obviously now you're on top, people have a target on your back equally as well. So I think for us it's a matter of us trying to find new ways to not create new ways to we have to reinvent the wheel, but we have to create new ways to make ourselves a little bit better every time we step on the floor.
Is Cleveland still running that Syracuse zone?
They are, yeah, and they're very good at it. Yeah, they surprisingly Detroit beat them. I should say surprised, because I think the gal in Detroit does a great job coaching. She does just a phenomenal job, and I just saw the score of the game, and they held them down quite a bit. But yeah, they play that same zone, hard to score against, and those kids got athletes, and they take it at you on the offensive end. Really a good team, so we are too. So that's good. Jazzy, get in here.
And Kevin, I know it can ebb and flow when you go up against a zone like that, but in the first meeting, you guys scored more points than you have against Cleveland State in the last 10 years. Is there a way to figure that out? Is it just going to be some games really good, some games maybe strong?
He makes adjustments. We beat him one way, he makes adjustments. We don't get those things the next time, so it's a cat and mouse kind of game.
Coach, to Sherry's jersey going up in the rafters, I saw you kind of wipe a tear in your eye. You spoke to us a couple days ago about what she means, but just seeing it actually happen, walk us through how you're feeling.
I think it's really cool now, and she probably should have had it a long time ago, but the fact that it waited and her boys are old enough to be able to see that, it's really cool. I mean, her boy Con obviously is going to Duke and is getting a lot of accolades right now, and Sherry just kind of hit the pause button and say, wait a minute, let's put things back in order here, you know what I mean? Mom's still the king, mom's still the queen of the house, you know? So she was phenomenal. And, you know, Sherry came to practice today and talked to the players, and she is probably one of the nicest people you've ever met in your entire lifetime. That to go on top of being a phenomenal player, it's the whole package, so I was excited for her.
You had mentioned that this team this year is more of a pack, anybody can do it, but as a senior, Sherry was over 20 points, the only player ever to average more than 20 in a season. What was she like as a senior, and how dominant was she? Because I think it was like 22.5 points a game.
She could do everything. She could pass, she could block shots, she was a great defender, dynamic scorer. She did everything extremely well, except be the point guard. We had her dribble the ball a few times up and down the court. Could shoot the ball from the arc. I mean, she could do it all. She just had the entire package, but she was so efficient around that basket. She was the queen of pin, catch, score. She just knew, boy, I tell you what, she didn't have to muscle anybody. If you got out of position, boom, pin, catch, keep it high and score it, and she was really good at that. So, and she motivated her teammates. She was one of those players that she was the guy or the dude or the whatever you want to call her, you know, for lack of a better word. She was the gal. She was the one you could go to when the chips came down because she was really that good of a player. Kind of funny because we played Cleveland State and Duffy Burns was the coach. Sorry, but and Duffy's goal was to stop Sherry Norgard, so he boxed her the whole game so Sherry couldn't get a shot off. I think we won by 50. But I think Sherry only scored like maybe 4 points. Duffy said, "Yeah, but Norgard didn't score." He said, "That's it put so much tension on her." Anyway.
As Kevin was saying before you got in here, that your last 2 games, you're capable of doing this. How are you feeling these last 2 games, confidence-wise? Does it kind of prove to you that you can do some of the things that you've shown these last 2 games? I mean, you had not scored 20 or more ever in the first 101 games. Now the last 2 games you have.
Yeah, I mean, for sure my confidence is lifted. Coach helps a lot with that, telling me of my capability and just like reinforcing that in my mind, and also my teammates like have so much trust in me to take those shots and knock them down, and I think that's a bigger part of it is like I want to do it for them, and just basically proving them right is a huge thing in that.
Do you feel like sometimes you're your own worst enemy, that
Yes.
you do get in your head? And how as more of a veteran now do you kind of try to learn to kind of keep those, you know, voices out of your head in terms of confidence?
I mean, obviously still learning. I don't think anyone's ever going to be perfect at it, but I do think I've come a long way since my freshman year in terms of limiting those voices in my head. But I think just building on the confidence and using the energy from my teammates and whatever they provide, just feeding off of that.
Your coach was very confident that after that Oakland loss, you guys were going to be able to bounce back, and now 2-0. Very good game today. Did you have any concerns about this team after that one loss, or did you kind of know this is exactly what was going to happen?
I mean, I think we have a good balance of going into games knowing of our abilities and knowing we are a good team and knowing that we all believe we were going to win without trying to overlook the abilities of the other team. And I think that's been a huge piece in our bounce back in terms of not being complacent with anything and going out playing our best regardless of who's our opponent.
Going into this game against Cleveland State for regular season, it's pretty big. I know it's just one game and a lot of games left, but how do you feel like these players are viewing this one? You could get up 2 games in the loss column with this win. Is it a very big game in your eyes?
I feel like every game's a big game. We can't really, obviously no one wants to lose. It's a huge thing to win this. We know what it means in terms of our standings, but we also know that one setback isn't going to ruin the season for us. So I think just going in with that mindset, we're all pretty much on the same page, and knowing what we can do against them, I think we're all on the same page on that.
Is that zone defense they play tough as a player to play against to kind of solve, or do you feel like in this last game you guys obviously did well, or is it a tricky defense?
To be honest.
I mean, like it's a little tricky. It's more complicated than playing against a man, obviously, but I think our preparation sets us up for it. But also, I feel like we have different things we can fall back on instead of just having one game plan and going in, and if that doesn't work, instead of being shut down and not being able to do anything. I think that we have different ideas and moves that we can bounce off of and just play around and figure something out that works for us.
Coach said that Sherry spoke to in practice. Is there any tips or tricks that you're hoping to take from her game?
I mean, talk about the pin catch score. I've been trying to get me to do that for a while, but I think the biggest thing I noticed from her when she walked in was her energy right away. She's very upbeat, very uplifting, and it felt like she was a part of the team. Like, she walked in and, like, there was no awkwardness in terms of, like, introducing yourself or, like, I don't know. It just felt very, like, cohesive and, like, she's been there with us the whole time.
Half-court shot.
That half-court shot. Yeah, that was...
She even took a half-court shot.
Well,
We do that
good.
before every game. We fire a half-court shot. We'll see if somebody can make one. Sherry got right in there and let one fly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did she make it?
No.
Oh,
We didn't give her a chance to warm up. Like, I feel bad for her. We should have let her move up a little bit. But